And now it's not good.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let you get started.
Okay, so today what we're going to do is I found this great training. It's short, but I think it's worth communication between all of us in how we're going about talking to people. And the training is, of course, the importance of building like and trust and edification. So how do we approach people to sell? And it's generating our leads. So we've gone through the prosperity book, and one page they said is to write down the 200 names. Well, I've written down the 200 names, but I haven't done anything with it. So what's the next step is actually starting calling and talking to people. And the approach number 2 is opportunity of sharing. And once we sign up people, the approach is to team duplication, and then how to keep your people. And I was listening to a Zoom call yesterday by Dr. Henry Leon, or Dr. Henry, and he's reached his goal of LD3. So he's making $5,000 a week. And I asked him how many first generation leads does he have? And he said 20.
Oh, wow.
So from 20 people that he signed up, he has got, he's on to leadership 3. And it's the beauty of sharing and letting it just fall down. So the more we share, the people under us will share, and we could get to $5,000 a week. So
Donna, can I just ask, those 20 people, he signed them up as actual partners?
Partners, yeah.
Like you are, like?
Yes,
like,
yeah,
okay.
As partners. And from my conversation, I'm not sure if you've listened to the last couple of sessions that we had, but he is doing what we're doing, is we're going to companies, and he actually has gone to different professionals like him and signing them up, and that's his main thing. He's a tennis player as well, so he's 64 years old, and it sounds like he plays tennis frequently, and no matter who he plays with. And his story is, he's a champion at tennis. And they say, oh my God, you're so good. You're playing with 20-year-olds and you can keep up with them. And his story is, well, I take these drops. Mm-hmm. And so that's his angle. So we got to find an angle. And I think we kind of have. But his call was very informative. And it's going to be recorded for Tuesday in our archives. So if you have a chance to listen to how he started, and he goes right back to Taiwan when he was a child, and they had no food to eat, and that's why he's such a tiny man, is because he was just he came from a very, very, very poor family. So building like and trust, always remember that you duplicate the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I have a story about that. Is I've really been going at people making money. So that's always been my focus, is to make money. And I'm not going at it more. I have to go more genuinely as to how it's helped me. And sometimes I think I'm pushing people away because I talk too much. So these things are very important. Don't put up a front. Don't be fake about it. Be genuine. Care about people and listen to their stories. Don't be fake. People can feel it. And love what you do and be really excited, and get people to be excited with you. Karen, is there anything that you want to add to that?
Well, I just agree. I think it's really important to be authentic and also to truly come from what it can do to affect their lives. And I think what I got from Dr. Henry's session yesterday is that he really led with the product right from the very beginning, and felt that it is so strong. This product is so strong. And so it built his team for him. People came back to him. They got the results on the product. I mean, obviously he was in the industry before, and he
Yes.
also has a lot of credibility in terms of being an expert in his field. So people look to him for advice about product lines, where we're in a little different situation. We're not, Chinese medicine practitioners and, experts in our field, but I think stories are very, very important. And I think they take the defense off people, and they relax people, and they get people wanting to lean towards you and want it instead of backing away from you and thinking they're being pitched.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that really transformed for me, is when I stopped saying, oh, and this product, it's an antimicrobial, it's an anti-inflammatory. Instead saying, when I first met Cheryl Lynn, she was walking with a cane, and she couldn't even walk down my hall without standing there shaking her foot for 5 minutes. And now she springs around. She's half her size. She's off all of her pain meds. And she's just transformed as a human. And it's like, really? Wow. So it's a different
approach. Don't use the big words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it about stories and make it about them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they're sold on getting excited about the product and getting on the product, just like what you've done with Jen Shoot, Judy, eventually, not everybody will be a business builder, but eventually they might bring you one. They might, we don't have to convert everyone from VIP customers into business owners. It's just not realistic. It's not their thing.
Plus, you don't want to. You want to have it. I think you want to have as many VIP people as you can.
Oh, exactly.
You're making 40% off them.
Yeah. 37, actually.
37.
And that's an ongoing steady stream of income. If we do the VIP and explain it, and explain, even she doesn't have to go on auto ship, but if she signs up and she knows she's going to need 2 bottles a month, why wouldn't she? And then it's shipped direct to her door, and she's never out of product. And she can also recommend to other people through her account and make money off of her. Like, I think we've got to really start having people understand that this is a life, this is a life change. And
not a one-time bottle. Yeah.
Not a one-time bottle. This is a life change. And once they get on this product and really understand what it's actually doing for their body, they're not going to be wanting to be off this product. They're not going to be wanting to be 5, 6, 7 days without it. They're going to be wanting to have it in hand, because they're not going to, and some months they're going to want to take more of it because they're either more stressed, or they're either fighting something off, or they're, you know what I mean? So I think our job to really help people understand how important this product really is significant.
I think you're right. I wanted to invite Judy to tell me what she told me the other day with what she does with her bottles.
So, and I tell people this all the time, like, when you empty your bottle, there's still like residual FOL in there. So I put water in them and I shake them up, and I have a spray bottle that I keep in my bathroom. And I mean, you can tell that actually the spray bottle is the same color as the FOL bottle too. So I just need a big label. But it's, and I spray it. I use it on my skin every day. I put it on my face. Keith puts it on his.
Oh, what a good idea.
I mean, you could take it with you even if you travel or to the beach or whatever for sunburns, and because you can see how milky it is when you pour it into the bottle, into the spray bottle. So I try and use every last drop of it. So, and it lasts a long time. I mean, I've got quite a bit. I've gone through quite a few bottles, but it's, yeah, I mean, why not make the most of everything? And you could use it.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Now, Judy was in a golf tournament on Sunday, and talk about the sunburn.
Well, it was Saturday, so it was cool out, and I mean, we had jackets on, off, depending on what angle you were golfing at, and but once we got back to my son's house, his wife, we could see that she burnt her shoulders, and a couple of the girls had, and I mean, you don't realize how powerful the sun is on a cool day and what it can still do to you. So that's what I said to her. I'm like, where's your FOL? Like, get it on, put it on your shoulders. Like, and then that's when I told them too about putting it in a spray bottle. And so just to start the conversation going, again, I haven't been one at all to push the income thing. I've talked briefly about it, but I like to tell about the experience and what it does for people. And Keith's sister, especially, she's got super bad arthritis. So she's now ordered 3 bottles. I think she's on 3, and she has now, her daughter-in-law has signed up as a VIP, and they're in Saskatchewan. And they, you know what? There's a lot of them out there, and I mean, word of mouth a lot of times, especially for Keith's sister Barb, who suffers from arthritis, and she was taking it, doing the drops. She's now like rubbing it on the areas that are bothering her on a particular day, and she said that her pain is lesser, and she notices a difference after she's rubbed it on the area as well. So,
wow. Great.
When you go for your family holiday, ask her if you could videotape her, do a little.
Well,
testimonial.
I know she won't, but even if I can just kind of get her, even if at that point, if Nikki's been on it, like just to kind of do a group thing and get something, because that's like, I mean, how Daria, her ankle,
Yeah, no, I think it's key. And the more we have, as this is what Karen is saying to me, is the more that we have our people giving testimonials, like when we send them out to people, we could say like, this is my sister-in-law. This is what's happening to her.
But people are
It's
going
a
to
real person.
Yeah,
Someone from the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of people don't trust necessarily the testimonials from people, like they just think sometimes it's contrived or whatever, and it can be. But I think I'd like to also, just at this point, just quickly, get maybe a testimonial from Catherine as well on video regarding Maisie. Because we're getting more and more people that are concerned about animals. And there's not a lot of studies yet. I mean, it would be a good thing to have in our arsenal, any animal testimonial as well. We're building a YouTube channel, so you guys know. So Judy and Catherine, I'd love both of yours personal, even if it's about the shampoo, Judy, or whatever, and just very quick little videos of you, real people that have experienced real results on the product, I think would be very helpful. And it would be nice to have our team up there all the way. We've got one of Ben already.
Yeah.
Do we have one of Judy? Shauna?
No, we don't.
No.
Can the video be done just off the phone?
Yeah. Or you know what? You could come to my house and I can do it. And Judy, when you're ready to, when you're finished with all the work, we should be meeting, a day or and just get together and
Great.
Karen comes on Mondays, and
What
your Mondays would be great for anyone to come and just uh, we just work all day at doing videos, doing Karen has got some great ideas of training. So I'm videotaping her, putting it on YouTube, and the more we can get on with our stuff and writing letters and like the letter to the chiropractor that I sent to you, that was a lot of Karen's work. So we
Mhm.
worked diligently for 2 weeks doing that letter. And so it's now shareable for all
Yeah.
of us to share for your links.
Thank you for that.
And
That's
as we're doing them, I can go into I mean, I don't have the ability to set you up with like a whole system, but I can
right.
certainly do the letter and you can send them out individually, but just by forwarding them, because I'll have all of your links ready to go to whomever you're sending to. So
Okay.
That is such a bonus. Thank you so much, Shauna, for that, because that's just such a huge tool.
it's a lot of work, but you know what? The thing is, you have information going out, and it benefits all of us by looking professional.
Yeah.
You know what I've been sending out a lot is the micro silver video, and that is such an amazing video because it's such a high-end production. It's lovely to send out, and talking about the cream. So okay, so let's carry on here. How to build, like, and trust. Build, like, and trust using form, FORM. What is form? F, family and friends, occupation, recreation, motivation. Ask them the questions. So listen more, talk less, and see how to get them excited. So what do you take from this, Karen?
Well, I think I learned very early on to stop talking and start asking. And so there's very seldom now that when I'm out and I'm meeting someone new, that I'm ever really talking about. I mean, I can interject, but I'm generally asking questions for the most part. And
so you've met me. What are your questions? You've just met me for the first time.
Well, just where do you, how are you doing? Usually it ends up you're talking about something kind of in common, and then I would probably ask you, so where do you live? What area of the city are you in? And then you'd tell me, and I like a lot of times what I'll find that I'll ask people is, are they from? Well, lately I've been meeting a lot of people that definitely don't seem like they're from Canada. So of course you always want to
Where are
ask
you born?
them,
Right.
where are you born, or how long have you been here if they are from somewhere else, and then that opens the question.
The siblings and
Sorry.
the family, and yeah, how many kids do you have?
Yeah.
And then you ask them about what careers have they had, and see the similarities of the careers that you've had and the careers that they've had, find commonality in that. And then good one for you, Judy, is do you golf? I just went on a great family golf with my family. My husband's very athletic. So find commonality there. And then what motivates you? What motivates you to get up in the morning? And it's for Catherine, she starts talking about Maisie and the love of animals and what's happening with the dog, and do they have dogs, or do they know of anyone that have dogs? And so we can find a lot of common questions. Thanks for starting that off, Karen. I just couldn't figure out how that slide was working, but it makes a lot of sense now. So your 2-minute story and edification. What does edification mean?
Are you asking me or are you?
Yeah, I'm asking anybody.
Okay.
Let's
Let me
I'm gonna look it up.
Google.
Google.
Yeah,
Say that
Google.
again. Say that again, Catherine. What did you say?
Let's ask Google.
Yeah. Can someone
Oh.
look that up?
Well, I know what edification means if you want me
Oh,
to share
okay.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, when you edify something, it's like you want to bring out the high points of it. And so in other words, I would always, let's say, in a 2-minute story, or if I'm introducing somebody as on a 3-way call, I would always want to edify the person that I'm speaking to first, and then also edify the person that I'm bringing in. So it's almost like a little edification, like you're just giving the high points.
Oh, like a synopsis.
Yeah, it's like, for an example, I'm introducing Catherine and Shauna to each other.
Oh.
And I say, let's say I'm on a 3-way call. And I'm saying, you know, Shauna, I really wanted you to meet my friend Catherine. Catherine and I go back many years. Catherine is an extremely professional person in marketing and sales, has done some incredible work in the past. We've worked together in the past, and Catherine is a real product of the product in this company. So I wanted to introduce the two of you. And Catherine, Shauna has a design background and is absolutely incredible at creating beauty and having women look a lot better and dress better and have a much nicer image. And so I thought you two would really connect well, and we could do some things together, something like that. So I'm
That's
just
great.
giving the highlights
Right.
of the person as to what would make sense, why you, or what you would want to edify about them as a high point of them to the other person.
Okay, that's great. That makes a lot of sense. So the reason why you're bringing these people together, the commonality that each one, or the benefits that each one can get from each other. That's
Yeah.
great.
Or
Okay.
for an example, just one more example, let's say you're utilizing me on a 3-way. You would say, you know, Karen has been with the company many, many years, has brought the business to Winnipeg and has achieved LD2 status with the company. So again, it's just a little tiny introduction. And so now, and the better we do it, the more the person that is on the other line is going to listen to that person you're introducing them to. So
Yes.
the company does it all the time on every call. Look at how they introduce Ramin. Look
Right.
at how they introduce Sanaz. It's like they walk on air. But it is what helps the person that is listening to have a much better quick understanding of some credibility, and also, why should I listen to this person? Why, you know, who are they? And man, they're like an expert. It's like Dr. Henry. Anyway, I don't want to keep going on, but edification is very important.
I see that now. Yes. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. When she was talking about Dr. Henry the other day, you know, just lining out what his experience is, you are saying, okay, well, this is a credible person. This is going to help me. So you're right. 2-minute story consists of the following. Number 1, when did you launch your business? And so I would talk in months, because it's been 6 months since I launched my business. Why did you start the business? Well, I started the business because I needed to bring in income. And I talk about my fashion line and how the pandemic really put a lot of stress onto my fashion line. And because people weren't going to work, my sales were going down and I wasn't meeting my trajectory of where I was going to be. So at the age of 61, almost turning 62, I'm nowhere near where I wanted to be in my life. And then I start talking about how any product that I made, how I manufactured it, and milling it, dyeing it, manufacturing it, shipping it to Winnipeg, and then marketing it, then selling it, shipping it back out to a client if they're back in Toronto. I was making $10 on a t-shirt. And that was the last time I ever saw that money for that product. And what I realized with Opulence Global is that I continue to make money overnight with residual income. And so that's kind of my story of the beauty of residual income, because once my double tank t-shirt, which is really hard to sell because it's $64 and people can buy, tank tops for $5.99, why they should buy it. It was a challenge.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then I talk about Karen, who introduced me to the business. And really it was because Karen was a very good client of mine and in my fashion business, but I was very ill. And she, Karen, I have to say that you've never pushed your business on me, but the timing was right. I was very sick and you said, just give it a try. And so the product worked for me. And after I told her how the product worked for me, she said, maybe it's something that you should sell. And so it took from August to January, or August to November when I signed up, that's how long it took her to sign me up. And I was coming in as a brand manager because I didn't have the money, or a brand advisor because I didn't have the money to get into it. And she slowly said the benefits of it. I didn't have the money to get into it, but I put it on a card, probably still paying it off, but that's where I am right now. We all have a story.
It's there's a few really good points in there. First of all, I think if each one of us does our little 2-minute story, it would be very helpful to have those little clips up on the the YouTube. But secondly, it's important to understand that this is a process. And, like you say, sometimes if you come in too hard on people to sign them, you miss that process of what it takes for them to, first of all, internalize what's happening, build the like and trust as they are using the product, making sure they're using the product properly, making sure, encouraging them with the results so that they can build a trust not only in you, that they're not just going to bring them in and leave them as an individual. You're going to actually mentor them and work with them, but also that they trust in the product and they trust in themselves that it does work for them, so they know that they can share it with authenticity. Because we're not about a pitch and we're not about a one-time quick sale, like Shauna said. We're about, this is a relationship building business, and this is something, and I'm just so proud of you, what you do, Shauna, because you've been that way from the start. You've been committed to your team and you've been working with them relentlessly and providing things that I don't see that often in leaders. So kudos to you for really caring about the people that you brought in and designing these things for them. And, it's just wonderful. But I think so there's some big things in that 2-minute story that you've just shared with us, that it wasn't a quick in for you. No. You had to have your health challenges figured out. And you did. And as a result, you now have a new career path and something that you can build into the future with that is not all on you. And so there's some big takeaways there. for people.
The art of telling a story. Thank you, Karen. The art of telling a story, 2-minute story, product testimonials, retail sales, experiences, stories, and your passion for the product. And that's what that we've just talked about. And often, people might say, well, like I was talking to my Dr. Baselli, and he said, well, I don't have I don't have the testimonial stories except yours. And so he's using my rheumatoid arthritis story for his clients. He's going to be signing on. And he said to me that his arthritic patients, he can no longer prescribe them any more drugs because they're on so many drugs that their drugs are interfering with one another. And he is hoping that Fountain of Life will be the solution for them, that they can still take their medication for their heart, their cholesterol, whatever. But he's really hoping that the Fountain of Life will help with their arthritis. So he's using my story, but we can use the stories from Facebook. Stories like Daria's story is, that is such a great story.
Yeah.
Her testimonial, if you send out her testimonial to people, there are a lot of women that have bloating stomachs and they don't know why. I was at a bridal shower a couple of weeks ago, and I was just looking at the people from my past and how they have, really small bums and great looking legs, but they've got this barrel stomach. And I've realized that there's more people that deal with Darius syndrome than not.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I put her video into a little story, and I just sent them a video clip of Daria. And if they come back, they're on my email list, and I try to send something out once a week.
Yeah. Well, just speaking of that very quickly, gut health is, it's a real problem for a lot of people, and just not only bloating, but, lack of being able to eliminate properly, all kinds of things because of our diets. So, but actually getting back to your doctor, you could share, I've asked Cheryl Lynn to put her testimonial together.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
think I'll do it in an interview style.
Mhm.
We could do these testimonials as an interview style, because I think it'll keep people on track, and it'll give people the right questions and then the answers, and it'll be very professional, very similar to the fireside chat idea that we were doing. Because Cheryl Lynn got off 8 pain meds a day down to not even 1 a day, and increased mobility, weight loss, lack of pain, you name it. So
she's a good
I'm
one.
sure we could even create pictures, like in that case, for an example, of her before and after.
Yeah.
And do these properly, and so people can access them and utilize them, and they know they're real people because they live in Winnipeg.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great one. And we could actually do it, on Zoom.
Yes, we can do that.
With you on one side, Sherilyn on the other side, you on one side, Judy on the other side, etc. with Catherine, and just do a Zoom interview. And that's really great.
Well, I think once we get rolling with that and
Mhm.
have an archive of those, somebody like a professional, like you were talking about, I have asked Dr. Henry to put a quick story together as well. I'm going to follow up with Renee on that, because he said that Renee's been asking. Anyway, I'm taking you off your topic here, but
No, that's great. Because we're talking about business testimonials, and what they're saying is, now we start talking about our personal income earned or total sales in your entire organization. So what we can start talking about is sales in our organization. And the example of Henry, Dr. Henry, who sells 500 bottles a month and makes $43,000 just in retail sales. So, you know, and then we can further to that say, if we just sold 100 bottles, if you just sold 100 bottles, or put it to yourself, just say, if I sold 100 bottles a month, that would bring me an income of $12,000 a month. And so just break it down to that. And then when you say, okay, if you sold 3 bottles to a person, because really it's 3 bottles that you need to really see something going, that's $33, 33 people a month that you have to talk to sell 3 bottles to, which will bring you $12,000 a month.
I see what you're saying. You're breaking it down now.
Breaking it down, and then talk about the size of the organization. And Karen, we should actually see how many partners there that are in Opulence Global. Is it 10,000? Is it, 5,000? How many partners are actually there? And then it's your target in sales. So,
I think it's around 14,000 actually, because I think Renee had said that he was making, we're just a baby. As a company, we're just a baby. And it's so cool to be in that, because this company, judging from what I can see in terms of comparing to other companies in the industry, we are pre-momentum. So we haven't even hit the momentum phase yet of this company, which is very exciting for all the partners here, because that's where the wealth is created. When the companies go through a metamorphosis and they are climbing, and then there's like a tipping point and it goes into a momentum phase. And anybody that has been active or has been, doing anything, it kind of makes a whole shift. And what happens is your business grows like exponentially very quickly. We haven't hit that yet as a company. So it's exciting for all of us, because we all have the opportunity to have the momentum phase really propel in our business, where and it's like there's a consciousness out there, and all of a sudden Fountain of Life will be like on people's minds, and it'll be like, where do I get it? How do I find it? Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah, I want to get some. Somebody else told me, another person told me, yeah, I want to get some. Who do I get it from? Like the guy that was on the call yesterday with Dr. Henry, he called in. Listen to this scenario. This is bizarre. He calls into the call. He had just woken up. He was a Nigerian guy.
Yeah, right.
And he's talking about, he says, I went on to Amazon, which I don't even know how he got it from Amazon. But anyway, he calls in, he buys these bottles at $150 a bottle because somebody told him it would help him with his sugar levels. And it did. So then all of a sudden somebody's saying, well, you can get it a lot cheaper, and, you can, and he's like, so he's calling into the call to find out who can sponsor him, because he's from Nigeria and he needs some product. And it's like, hello, everyone. So then Dr. Henry was so gracious. You could go back to the person that shared that with you. But it sounded like the person that shared that with him didn't know what the hell they were doing, because they didn't even offer to sign him up.
Yeah.
Well, how did they get it? How did he buy off Amazon?
I don't know. He just found it on Amazon somewhere.
But that's like, is the company selling to Amazon? Like, it's got to go on their
no, it's obviously some person that put it on there, which the company will have to follow up with on that, because it's not supposed to happen. But he paid an arm and a leg for it, and
I can attest to that, because I've been talking to Valentina Kluche, the Russian, And, Daria has told her about FOL, and she's been in Florida for all this time. And she says, I have to get on this product. And when I get back to Winnipeg, I'll buy it. And then I met with her, and she said, oh, I bought it. I bought it off Amazon, but it's so expensive. I paid $150 a bottle. And I said, well, why would you do that? She said, well, I didn't want to bother you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I
So
mean,
it's,
um,
we've got to become better operators, but,
right. Yeah.
and that was one of the things on the call, on Ramin's call, which I highly recommend. It'll be under the Tuesday forensic training. It'll be loaded by now. It'll give you some strong ammunition about, why us versus anyone else. And it was a really strong call. But we do need to follow up with the company and find out who the Amazon,
And that's been going for a while. And
yeah, and
oh.
and we need
and
to
he's
raise
on it.
them.
Rumin has talked about the guy that whoever is selling on Amazon, and they're actively on it. They have to get, it's a process to get it down.
Yeah.
And they're on it. Okay, so this last point, your growth target in sales team income in 12 months and over. And I think let's really get a great footing this summer in really learning this system. And I think in September, let's start challenging each other by saying, okay, how many partners can you get in? How many VIPs can you get in? And let's start a motivation program for each other and really help each other to get moving. I think we've got a lot going this summer, and we'll continue to have these meetings, but I'd really like to start having a Wednesday night wine at my place that we can, or anyone's place, that we can start inviting people to, just like we did for Bella Bellas, bringing women together mostly to talk about their issues and
Mhm.
for us to talk about our products. And I think home parties are a way to go without really calling it a home party.
Yeah,
Start
I
marketing
tend,
towards that. Judy and I have talked about that, and I really think that would be really good for our VIP sales, anyways. And
Mhm.
by September, we should probably know what we're doing.
and I think we should also talk about, the Sunday VIP once
Yeah.
a month event. I think people should maybe start supporting those, because it will be part of the infrastructure to grow as a city and,
Yes.
and get that camaraderie going with other people that are in the business, and just make more of a presence here in the city, because I know we can be so diverse and people have people all over the place. But it can be done as a real reinforcer, and we can use the technology that's there.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's really come up with a plan for how we're going to move forward in September in bringing people together. And if it's once a month on Sunday, then let's really put our efforts into bringing people. We might have to get a bigger space if if we're really working to bringing people in. And maybe these Sundays will be the business end of it. So when we talk to our people, if we have a couple of wine nights on Wednesdays, and then say, if we're going to have a business session on Sunday, first Sunday of the month, and this is a place where you can come and ask all the questions from our leader and edify Karen. She's been in the business for 18 years and actually sign people up on Sundays.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Them.
experiences, like share your experiences on Wednesdays. They can share what their issues are, and people who have like issues can certainly speak to that. And, even just to throughout the summer, getting them on FOL,
Yeah.
and then maybe by September or earlier, they're ready to sign up.
Yeah. I
That's
think it's
so
a great
good.
idea.
That's such a great thing. And also too, guys, if you're not sampling, I highly recommend sampling. I'll tell you, it has brought some people in that I never expected actually to really come in, because they're very involved. They're big leaders in other companies, and those samples are the shampoo sampling and the micro silver cream, the little bottle of FOLs. Those toothpaste and FOL samples are invaluable, and they're so professional looking. And, it's part of that whole process, right? Where you're nurturing, you're building like and trust. People are actually, I don't think I've sampled that shampoo where the person has not bought a set of shampoos.
Interesting. Yeah.
So
read more of
take
that.
a set of shampoos,
Yeah.
get your little sample space. There's so many samples in those bottles of shampoo that
Yeah.
it could be a huge return for you with very little effort. And once they trust one product, they'll trust you on being introduced to other products.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We know the shampoo is an immediate thing, like one using and they want the shampoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I think it's
I would just like to say something.
Sure.
For 1 second. Just going back a couple slides when we were talking about how many people are partners with Opulence. Given that the company is how old, Karen?
18.
18 years, 2005.
18 going on 19 years. If they only have 14,000 brand partners across the entire globe, to me, that's not that impressive. Just saying. So I get what you're saying about, we're in sort of the pre-momentum stage, but I think it's important just to qualify that a bit, because I think it's important for people, if you're going to use those numbers and you're going to share that, because it is exciting, but at the same time, it doesn't speak volumes to, how many people are involved if we're talking the world, right? So I think it might be important to segue into that by saying, because Karen, when you and I got it, and it was purses, shoes, accessories, and that was it, right? So it's how many purses, bags, and accessories and jewelry pieces can you buy, really, right? Unless you're using it for gifts. But really, I think bringing in maybe the year or something that they introduced the health line, because that's the residual part of, that's what's making this easier. I went, Rod has a cottage at the lake. I went there on the weekend. His neighbor came outside and said, Rod, can I borrow your lawnmower? She was limping. And he said, oh, well, you can, but what's going on? She said, oh, I'm just still kind of recovering a bit from hip surgery. He said, oh, shit, I'll just do it for you. So anyways, he said, Catherine, come out and meet Shannon. So I came out, I met this woman, her and I hit it off. We had a couple of wines. The next thing you know, she's telling me about her hip and this. And I said, you got to get on this product. So by the time I was finished with her, she said, well, can you bring me next time you're out, can you bring me 3 bottles? I said, well, yeah, I can. So no worries. And then she doesn't want to put her credit card online yet, but we haven't really built that like and trust that I can tell her, don't worry, the site is secure, because I've been doing it myself for however many years. But I just wanted to mention that because like you said, 14,000 people is not that impressive.
I don't think it's 14,000 just as far as members. I think I heard 25,000, but I don't know whether that embodies all of our customers. But anyway, yeah, I'll get the actual numbers.
Yeah.
But you're right, to your point, is we've had a massive transition.
Mhm.
And it's only been 3 years ago. We like Opulence really is a 3-year-old baby with a massively powerful foundation.
So, however, saying again, now just, to throw caution to the wind, when people hear something is new, a 3-year-old multi-level marketing company, that's not that impressive either, right? Because it's still so new, you don't know what's going to happen. But if you say it's 18 years old, but they brought in this health line 3 years ago, that's the different story, right? Because it's got the bones, it's got the foundation, it's been there for a long time, you can trust it, right? But the big momentum push is since they brought in the health line, in my opinion. Because with the residual on the FOL, it makes, I mean, I can't sell, 3 purses a month to the same person, right? So
Yeah.
You're right.
impossible, right? So
Yeah, it's a good point to bring up for sure, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Good.
So let's start working on our sample stories just for personal growth.